Scano, Sago, hello, Six Nations. As we near the end of our first week of May, we get a little closer to Mother's Day weekend, and I hope we'll be together well in mind, body, and spirit. This is Lori Davis Hill, Director of Six Nations Health Services, providing your daily podcast about COVID-19 and the Six Nations of the Grand River community. Let me begin with a stop into our wellness section. For today's wellness portion of our podcast, I mentioned to everyone yesterday of having a special guest. Well, it's my pleasure to introduce to everyone Brody Thomas, Team Manager of Mental Health and Addiction Services, here to offer a few thoughts during Mental Health Week. Hi, Brody. These are challenging times for all of us. Can you share some specific strategies for our different age groups in caring for their mental health?
Thank you, Lori. I guess I'd like to start off with our children. I want to talk about self care, and I guess this activity is more for parents to recognize and practice with their children at home. So if you notice your children or a child or anyone you're looking after is really not acting like themselves, they may be lashing out with anger or sad or quiet or isolating themselves. Um, I want you to, for one, ask the child, if they are um, doing okay and how they are feeling. But a lot of the times, children don't know how to express how they are feeling. So, a quick um, activity that you can try as a parent is just giving your child a piece of paper and having them draw, you know, draw how you're feeling or draw how you're doing or draw how we're our family today and have them write it out on paper and then really have them explain why they drew what they did. There might be, if they use a lot of black and the clouds are dark or their mouth, they don't draw, the mouth on their drawings or they leave out certain people in a drawing, then ask them, how come you left out uncle or dad, or it might be someone they're missing during this time when we need to self isolate and be apart from people. So that's just a little quick activity you can do with your child or young ones at the house. Um, so moving on to adults for self care, um, you really need to take time for yourself, and I want to talk about um, someone we call the rocks in the family, and these are the people that the family tends to lean on. They are the ones responsible for getting groceries, for kind of always being the one that people can talk to. So I want to give a shout out to them because I know they don't often get talked about. But it is important, even if you are that rock in the family, to take the time to do some self care for yourself. Self care can be different for everyone, and I'm going to list just a quick examples of some things that you can try. And I encourage you, if you do try one, it doesn't work, don't give up. Try something else and keep trying something until you do find an activity that does help you relax. And you will notice when something works because you'll feel a lot better. So some activities are talking. Make sure to talk, express your feelings, talk on the phone if you can't talk to the person face to face. Just talk, 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 because that brings a big weight off your shoulder. You can write, read, of course, TV. That's one of my favorites. Walks, listen to music, a bath or shower. If you are feeling a little more anxiety, try some slow, deep breaths. Try yelling into a pillow, drumming, sewing, singing, crafting, making a family photo album. It can be different for everyone, but like I said, find something that works for you. And I also wanted to mention the elder self care. So, like the things I just listed, you can do them in moderation. I know a lot of our elders might have mobility issues, but that doesn't mean that they can't practice some of these self care things too. Whether it's just going for a walk around the house, just getting up and getting some circulation and walking, that will help release some of the stress from your body. And I really encourage people too to know your limit. Don't try to overdo it. Go for like a 1 kilometer walk when you haven't walked in a long time, but just be safe and just try out and don't overdo it. I do encourage people to stay away from some of the unhealthy coping activities. This would include consumption of alcohol, drugs, any kind of high risk behavior, and watching and reading too much news. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of stuff about COVID and all that that's out there on Facebook, but sometimes it's not healthy to read too much about it because you kind of want to get your mind off of it when you're trying to look after yourself. Um, I also want to say the mental health and addictions team is open during this time. So if you are struggling or want any more tips around self care, need someone to talk to, we are open 8:30 to 4:30 every day, and the crisis line is available after hours, and we can follow up with you the next day.
What's the crisis line number, Brody, or the number for mental health and addictions?
The number for mental health and addictions is 519-445-2413, and the crisis line is 1-866-445-2204.
Well, thanks, Brody, for stopping by and offering everyone some thoughts on mental wellness. I know our community really appreciates a kind, encouraging word, and we just want everyone to know that we'll be here to offer our thoughts to anyone and support to anyone that might give you that little something extra to get through the day. Now let's have a look at today's numbers. As of this morning, we remain at 11 positive cases reported here at Six Nations. 10 of those cases have resolved with one death. We currently have no active cases. To date, we have completed 436 tests. We want you to know that we need to continue to identify symptoms and do testing to monitor the impact of this virus on our community. In the surrounding communities, New Credit has one positive case. Haldeman Norfolk Public Health Unit has 196 positive cases, 58 resolved, and 30 deaths. Grant Public Health report 99 positive cases, 78 resolved, and 3 deaths. Hamilton Public Health reports 468 cases, 306 resolved, and 23 deaths. Toronto Public Health reports 6,665 positive cases, 4,273 resolved cases, and 504 deaths. Over the next few days, the province is starting to reopen selected areas like provincial parks, garden centers, and retail stores with curbside pickup. Please remember to wear a mask when you are going out in public. Here at Six Nations, we must continue to protect our community. Please maintain our physical distancing efforts and not gather in large crowds heading into this Mother's Day weekend. We need to remember that it can take anywhere from 1 to 14 days after exposure to the virus before any person starts showing symptoms. If you are experiencing any one of the COVID-19 symptoms or any other new or unusual symptom, it is important that you call the COVID-19 Assessment Center at 226-446-9909 or toll free at 1-855-977-7737. This COVID-19 hotline is open 7 days a week to take your calls. And a few reminders before we say own it till Friday. Be sure to get your new checkpoint pass by Friday, May 8th, that's tomorrow, by contacting the hotline at 519-717-6639. Next, if you or your children are in need of routine immunization, please call the Ashwegan Public Health Office at 519-445-2672. All immunizations are currently being booked by appointment. You will go through a screening process when booking the appointment and then again when you arrive for your appointment. And continue watching for the Mental Health Week and National Youth Week events on Healthy Six Nay and Six Nations Matters on Facebook. These activities combine safe social distancing events mixed with fun. Remember, I'll be back tomorrow with updated statistics. And until then, Six Nations, keep the good mind for all of our frontline workers. Please stay home for them. Please stay home for all of us. Stay well and stay safe. Nyawa.